right, let's do this thing, huh? Welcome back. This is What the Podcast with Ryan and John. I'm your host, John.
I'm your host, Ryan.
And together we are...
Ryan and John.
And I thought I turned that AC off.
Oh.
It's probably for the best. Ryan drank, like, in the microphone. I don't know if you heard that, but you went...
Oh, we're keeping all
No,
of
we're
this.
keeping all of this. Hold on.
No, this is in the show.
ask Geneva to turn off the AC. So frustrating. This is the
Geneva?
second time. Yeah. You have to ask Geneva to turn off the AC because I imagine it's some company war. Like,
Yeah. Like they want you to
GE's
say
like-
the name of the company every time you turn it off so that...
someone should tell Geneva that no one's going to use... someone should tell GE, the company, that no one is going to use Geneva.
No one will do it.
Sorry, Alexa's my first love, and that's it.
Oh, well, now she heard you.
Oh, shoot.
Go back to sleep, honey. It's all good.
Anyways, welcome to the show. Wow, what?
What an intro. What a gripping...
And I'll tell you, one of these days, that AC is going to be off before we start. It's just not this week or last
It's not
week.
this week. It's just not going to happen.
You told me to turn it off.
I thought for sure you did it because it stopped.
Yeah.
Well,
you know, it is what it is. Well, hey, how you feeling, Ryan?
I'm really gripping content so far.
Yeah.
I was talking about the AC. I'm feeling great. As you can see, video watchers.
You should be
All
watching
Mama
it.
wants is a silent night.
Yeah, let's talk about your mugs right away. And yours says, all Mama wants is a silent night. I saw that and I thought, this is Ryan.
I took a long time trying to understand it, and I've come to no conclusion. Because who is Mama? Why does she want... Just like moms in general want a silent...
Yeah, I think, I think someday when I am a mother, it'll make more sense.
Right.
But yeah, I get it. I mean, when you have a few kids running around, it's Christmas time. There's lots of hazardous things like, ceramic, nativity scenes, right? Those are all iconic.
Sure.
So I get it. You want a silent night. Mine says, don't get your tinsel in a tangle, which I'm going to try not to today for this mug and for you.
I do appreciate that. Thank you.
I'm really excited to be back.
I'm going to take a second and fix myself here.
Go ahead. Just fix
We
that
really
mic.
jumped right into the podcast today, and
You know what?
I'm excited about it. I'll tell you what. But
Get real content.
Yeah. How's your December going so far?
It's going great. I'll tell you, we're recording the show. Listen, breaking character here, breaking the show seams here, but we are recording the show a week behind the actual time. So
the question is, how much December have you taken in so far?
so far I've taken in about 2 days.
That's fantastic.
But I love it. I mean, I love December. I'll be honest. It's just one of those times where I feel like everything just feels better. You're in a better mood. Everyone's just like happier. And maybe I'm totally wrong on that, but
I think, what we could all use right now is a little state-sanctioned happiness, some
Yeah.
worldwide happy feelings.
yeah, especially after spending so long in quarantine because of, again, we'll talk about it, the 2020. Oh, come on. We're giving her too much press, but
She really gets
She
too much
really-
attention on this
she
show.
really messed it with us this year, though. But yeah, I think this year especially, I was talking to somebody, it was at work, and they were like, "Oh, for Thanksgiving week, we're gonna talk about what are we thankful for, And I was like, "Wow, they're really doing it the most right now." I was like, "I don't even want to be here." Just kidding. If you're watching from work, I love you guys. Which are you watching from work? No, probably not. But
Hard to say.
and I told him, I said, like, I think I'm most thankful for relationships and like human contact, because that's the one thing we just like, we've almost gone a full year of like some sort of quarantine. Now it hasn't always been like totally isolated, but to some degree it's been pretty lonely, and I'm lucky enough to have, all of my family here in the house for the most part. And I see my family, they come over there. We're of course doing our best in this quarantine thing, but we're still seeing each other, at least family for sure. And I just imagine like somebody who either lives in a different state and doesn't have family nearby that is really truly isolated. It must have been a way worse year than my year,
Yeah, I couldn't imagine too. I mean, same. I had recently, at the beginning of the year, had moved out my parents' house, and luckily I'm still in the same kind of neighborhood. I still live in Ocean Beach, and when quarantine started, it was like okay, well, do you want to come up for some dinner? Like, yeah, of course. Like, it became where I was having dinner every night with my parents, and I was having, movie nights and stuff with my sister and like I said, my parents. And it was such a time of like, reconnecting with them, and like checking in with them every day was like, honestly, like getting me through a lot of that season,
Yeah,
So,
yeah. Yeah, I think a lot of that, like again, so that, and when I start to think about the year we've had, and I think the holidays do that to us, right? We are forced into some sort of self-reflection because we're ending the year, and that doesn't really change much, right? The year changes, and some things change, but not really a whole lot changes when that time switches over to a new year, right? But reflection is interesting in that way, and so this year I was really thankful for just having friends, and being able to do new projects like this. I mean, this is a really good example of like really cool way to connect with friends. And I think already, we were friends before all this, but I think already, I feel like I'm, thinking about you guys more often, and like reaching out to you guys more often, and trying to not always make it about the podcast, but like, that connection's fun.
It helps get us all connected.
Yeah.
I'm gonna pivot
Go. Get me out of
because
here.
I want you to talk about
Pivot.
pivot. I want you to talk about 30 Days of Christmas Sweaters. How did it get started?
You want to know the history.
I want the history. I need the full lore, and just if you're watching and you don't know what I'm talking about too, I want you to explain.
25 Days of Christmas Sweaters. And by the way,
Sorry, 25. I misspoke and said
no,
30 days.
I have a lot of
Just
Christmas
tell me
sweaters.
about your Christmas sweaters, John.
So it starts about 6 years ago. I was probably the beginning of my sophomore year, and I was really good friends with a guy named Connor Burton.
Okay.
Love the Burton family. They're longtime friends of us, friends of mine, and they might be watching, they might not. But Connor and I, we were really close, and we thought, what's the next thing? We were kind of getting out of the beginning of the year. Homecoming was over, and we're like, what can we do that's captivating and fun? Because in high school, I started this thing in sophomore year, the year before, that I would wear a suit every Friday. It was called Fancy Fridays, and I had about
Wow.
I think at its peak, it had like 30 or 35 guys and girls just dressing like to the nine on Fridays, every Friday. And some Fridays were lame and it was just me, and some Fridays were a lot of people, and we took photos, and we even got the campus police officer to dress up in suits. He got clearance from his sergeant to wear a suit on Friday. So we were like thinking about what was the next thing, right? We had this kind of trend going, and we're like, what's next? And he's like, oh, well, my grandma has a ton of Christmas sweaters. And I go, well, I was like, that's great. I was like, I think my mom might have some, right? And so I went to my mom, and I was like, yeah, I mean, my mom was a teacher in the 90s. So like,
So she had Christmas sweaters.
they had, that was a thing. I mean, that was a thing. So we brought our collection together, and when we started, we had just enough. We had 25, probably 25 or 26 total. So we said, like, if we can switch off, different days, we'll wear different ones. We'll all wear the same ones eventually,
Sure.
right? And so we started it, and it started to kind of catch some notoriety in the social media game, because I think people, I started Black Friday vlogs too. So like people in again, tying to that season, right? Like people start to remember what they remember most about that. So I think it started to kind of gain its notoriety through there. So we were doing it every year. And then after high school, I was like, do I continue to do it? It was kind of a high school thing, but I loved it so much. And people started giving Christmas sweaters as gifts. And I felt like that was such an odd thing, right? Because I was like, I already have at least 25. So a gift is nice, but now I think at its height I had 35.
Wow.
And I try and give away a couple every year because I'm like, I don't need this many. And my mom, God bless her heart, she loves buying them for me. She is like, my mom, on a tangent here for a second, she's like 110% into whatever you're doing. So anything I was doing, even like when I started podcasting, she was like buying me whatever. So my mom would come home with 5-6 sweaters in the height of all this. And so I had a ton of sweaters. And so that's where I started after high school. I was like, do I continue to do it? My friend Connor was like, he did it, I think he was a year younger than me. He did it his senior year. We did it together, but I wasn't in high school. And then after he graduated, he's like, you know what? This is great, but I'm not like, it's just not my thing anymore.
But
which is
you
totally
really
fine.
connected with it. You were
Yeah,
like,
I don't
this
know
is-
why. Again, I think it was a good conversation piece when I ran into people, and every time I saw people in the store or whatever, from high school, they were always like, "Hey, are you still doing the Christmas sweater thing?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And so I think I think it's a really good outward expression of, and then I was also working and I got out of high school. So I wear them to work, and then my work kind of caught on. My work was like, this is hilarious. Like, and then every year they'd ask, "Oh, are you doing sweaters this year?" And I'm like, sure. And now I think I could give or take with it.
Sure.
It's not necessarily like super intense, but, I think what I loved about it is it brought a smile to people's faces. I mean, people thought it was hilarious.
Well, I think that's my favorite part of the story is that people were then asking in following years, like, "Hey, are you like, where's the Christmas sweater?" Kind of the same that happened this year. Like, where was the Black Friday vlog? Like, where was the, like, this thing that you're doing for fun and you're doing with your friends, then suddenly you have this following on social media,
Yeah.
like people that may know you or may like kind of know you that are like, "Yeah, so how are you going to top last year?"
It doesn't take much to get me back into it, because every year I
course.
I do this thing, and Jordan, my fiance, will tell you, and my siblings will tell you. We do this big lip sync bash every year, and every year I go, I'm not going to do it this year. I'm going to let it slide. Like it's had its time, it's had its day, it's over with, right? And I do this with all these little things that I do year round, and then one person will be like, "Hey, you should do this. Like you should do this again. It was really funny last year." And I go, "Okay, I'm back." So like Black Friday vlogs, like every year without fail, somebody, it's not a lot, but like one person will DM me or text me and be like, "Hey,
Can't
Black
wait."
Friday's happening." Like, hey, some guy, we gave away shirts last year, or we never ended up doing it, but we were going to give away free shirts. I know that's so lame, but. And
You know what? I just realized I never got my free
yeah,
shirt.
I'm gonna get you yours.
I'm a little pissed
I'm gonna
about
get you
that.
yours for sure.
Wow.
So I think every year someone goes, "Hey, are you doing this?" And I'm like, "Of course I am." So it's kind of that kind of thing. But I do love it. Like it makes people laugh, and it's like one of those connection things. I like my mom was in the store last year, there was a week before Black Friday, and a guy I went to high school with was working there, and of course she didn't know him, and she stopped her and she was like, "Hey, are you John Albright's mom?" And she was like, "Yes." "Why? Did he hurt you?" And no, I'm just kidding. And no, she said yes, and he said, "I'm so excited for Black Friday vlogs this year. I really hope he does it." And my mom came
Wow.
home and told me that, and I was like, "See, but like, how can you not? Like that's the allure, I guess. Always is coming back is always like." If it makes someone happy, if out there someone is watching and it sticks in their brain enough for a year later to reach out and be like, "Hey, this is really fun," it's to me, it's worth it.
I love it, man.
Do you have
love
any
that.
trends that you do throughout the year, like things that reoccur?
We established something in October that I think will come back to bite us in the butt.
Rasputober,
That's
right?
true.
Oh.
We did. Yeah, I guess I can talk about
I
that.
think we hyped it up a lot, so much so that next year people will be like, "Oh wait, that was a thing." Like I feel like
I
it'll
hope
be
so.
I'm gonna ask about it.
For those of you watching and listening that don't know what we're talking about, Rasputober was a campaign that me and Olivia started this October.
It started
and-
as a dream.
It started as a dream, a journey of self-discovery, and we had taken a vow that each day for the month of
Taken a
October,
vow.
we a solemn oath that we were going to
Blood
perform the Rasputin dance from Just Dance 2, the video game.
Yeah.
From 2012.
Still
For the Wii,
hits.
which, a little side note, they're still releasing Just Dance games for the Wii. If you're
Really?
ever a completely dead whatever
Medium?
video game system. The point was, we did the dance every day as like, oh, this is like a good form of exercise, because we watched this video of these people doing it, and they're just like on fire. These three, what I can only imagine are like professional dancers.
They're incredible.
And they perform it really well. And it was just like this ongoing thing, like, oh, what if we did it like, if we were doing that every day, we'd be rocked. Like, we'd be super.
Like, we're gonna lose a ton of weight.
We're gonna like lose weight. We're gonna be like super toned. And what it ended up being, so we did it. I mean, obviously. This,
I watched every episode.
I know you did.
Did you?
I really did. I'm not
Whoa.
joking. I thought it was hilarious.
It was fun, like a ton of fun starting and throughout, but it became us like committing to this thing every day that it was just like finding the time to actually do it. And that was like our whole kind of thesis statement at the end of it was like, it's a 4-minute
reflection at the
dance.
end, yeah.
It's like, it was not a lot of
Dissertation at the end.
work.
Yeah.
Like to actually do it every single day. But for us to go, okay, we're going to get together. We're going to find time to do it. You know, okay, are you free? No, I have to work. Okay, well, we're going to have to do it. Like more often than not, we were filming at like 11 o'clock at night. We're like, okay, like we have to do
this
it
shit.
today.
And it's only a 4-minute long
And it's only
song,
4
but
minutes.
It's literally the worst thing in the entire world. It's so painful.
But it became this thing of this lesson of like putting yourself like, okay, I'm committing to something, like the dedication to even like a stupid joke like Rasputober or like, you know, or something like, yeah, like fun that you do with your friends, like the Christmas sweaters every day. It's just like that commitment. I don't know. I don't even know what the point was. Like that
Well, I'm
It was
sure
back
you
to
guys-
like Christmas traditions. Like, what do we do during Christmas time?
Yeah.
You
'Cause that was
know,
October.
well, okay.
Creating things that last.
One of my producers is redirecting the conversation a little bit.
Go ahead. Transition.
Wow.
No, thank you. That's good for us.
The
We can
point
stand some.
was is that you do fun thing. I guess that is.
And then some people start
that's
to-
something of a transition.
Some
Why
people
do we
start to
do
get into it.
anything for a certain amount of time every year? Because we just do it.
Yeah. No, I think
Oh.
was there some sort of like, I know you guys are close. I mean, you guys siblings, you see each other a lot, but I'm saying like, did that element of having to get together every day, did you guys see like a change of like, oh, it was nice to like spend more time or seeing each other every day or
You can
honest-
answer that one.
Honestly, yeah, it was fun. It was like, I realized after the month of October, I was like, I haven't been to Ryan's house in like weeks. Because in October, I was like going every single day.
Well,
But
maybe
then,
not
like-
weeks, maybe days.
Well, in
but
November, I was like never going
It's
over to
been
your
a
house.
while.
And I was
Yeah.
like, oh, wow. Like, if you don't make the conscious effort of like every single day, let's hang out. You know, you could go for long periods of time without hanging out. But I do think it's interesting, like, what people latch on to. It's funny, like, seeing people. I would get random, like, Snapchats or different things like, oh, this video was so funny. Like, this week was awesome. You know, different, like, just people reaching out. That's, like, random, but so fun. And it's funny to see.
And so we like the first episode we put my Venmo like as a joke, like, oh, like if you want to like help us out
I
during
didn't
this
catch
time,
that. I would have definitely done that.
well, you should have. Yeah.
I'll go back.
Yeah, you should probably do that. Like, oh, like if you want to help us in this time, like support Rasputober. And we actually got like a
$10
fair amount of people. Like, yeah, I
Really?
think we got like
we got a ton of people that would, like, throw us $1.
Yeah,
throw
like
us
$1, like
$2.
$5. Like
It was
it
so
was just
funny.
so weird, but people, like you said, like people like that kind of stuff.
Yeah, there's a camaraderie to that, and I think same with Rush October is a good example, and the same thing with Black Friday vlogs and things that I do. It's like people like to follow that. I think people like to be a part of it, and social media connects us now so much that we can feel like we're there. So really cool. Yeah, I loved Rasputober. It was great.
All right, now it seems that we're transitioning to something Christmas related.
Is that right?
Cara,
know. Are
well,
we
this is
gonna-
your segment now, so I'm
wait,
ready to.
wait. We should talk about drinks, right?
Yeah, we should probably.
We
transition
should.
to
What
the
are you-
holiday
Oh,
drink.
yes.
John, what is in your tinsel mug
Let
today?
me tell you right now. First of all,
It's a treat.
Cara, our producer, went down and I told her to surprise me. She didn't surprise Ryan, but she
got what I
surprised me. And I told her to surprise me with something in this Christmas mug, Starbucks wise, right? If Starbucks wants to sponsor us, hit us up. You know where to find us.
Like, if
Please.
they want to, I don't.
I remember.
If you want.
I remember podcast what the Gmail. Couldn't snag
Hit us up.
what the podcast.
I
the Gmail.
asked and they said no.
And
they wouldn't give
so
it.
I'm supposed to guess what this is, and I'll be honest with you, I've been drinking this for 30 minutes now, and I have no idea what it tastes like. So I need to taste it really quick. It was
good.
actually thinking about it.
By now it's ice cold, guaranteed.
Now it's an iced coffee.
No, oh no.
No, okay. It tastes okay. Is there peppermint in it?
Yes.
Okay, I freaking knew it. All right, I would say. Okay, I don't know about
Crack
specifics.
the code.
I don't know about specifics, but I'm gonna say this is a peppermint latte with a pump of toffee nut. Am I close?
Wrong.
Wow.
Okay,
Wow.
what is it? What is it?
Okay. It is.
By the way, hold on before you
Yes.
start. Cara's our resident Starbucks barista.
I am.
Okay.
Give it up.
So let's give her a hand,
you, thank
people.
you.
Wow. Not all heroes wear capes,
Wow.
that's for sure. And
You're so brave.
and so you
Thanks.
know a lot about the inner workings of the beast, belly of the beast. You're
Yeah.
inside the belly of the beast.
Corporate.
So yeah, you are corporate. So tell us exactly
Big
what
coffee
you got.
over here.
So exactly what I got you was I just ordered a peppermint mocha.
Okay, I knew that. I was gonna guess that.
It was just a regular peppermint mocha, but I only did 1 pump of peppermint, 1 pump of mocha, and I added 1 pump of white mocha.
I could taste that white mocha.
That
in
is
there.
a
Tuxedo.
wow tuxedo.
Yes, it was a
mocha.
peppermint tuxedo.
Oh, okay, because you know
Wow.
what? That's what threw me. Because the reason I almost didn't go with peppermint is when I tasted it, it didn't taste like peppermint. Like when you have something from Starbucks that's peppermint, it's
You're
like,
like, that's
I can feel it
overpowering.
in my
It's
nostrils.
because there's
you know?
normally like 2 times the amount of pumps.
It's like
Well, this is
essential oils
delicious,
up in there.
and I really appreciate it. What are
welcome.
you drinking over there? my guy?
I'm gonna be honest with you. I finished my drink.
Oh, wow.
My drink is
It's
gone.
empty.
It was an eggnog latte.
Okay.
With 1 shot of decaf espresso.
So with decaf espresso, how do they even make it? Is it just like not as much espresso?
It's about a half amount of
It's like
espresso.
instead of like
Half of it's water.
Half a shot.
normal espresso has, I think it's like 250 milligrams of caffeine. Decaf only has like 15 milligrams of caffeine.
Wow.
Well, there you have it.
So you're gonna be asleep for sure.
Yeah, it's gonna reverse.
It's gonna
It's
have
actually gonna make
reverse
you more
effects.
sleepy.
This is a good time to also say if you're watching or listening, we want to know what you drink at Starbucks. So drop it down in the comments. This is also will be on our Instagram, I imagine. But
Hit us
we
up.
also have to start posting on that thing, and
Really should get that going.
really should really start. Yeah. Okay. So you're an eggnog fan.
I like eggnog. I'm a fan.
I'm a huge eggnog person. Do you drink it straight?
Just straight up. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, yeah, because that's pretty controversial, I think, in the holiday world. Eggnog. What do you drink it? Do you like it?
Yeah,
Can
Yeah.
you just buy regular eggnog? I can't say that I've seen it.
Yes.
Well, it's kind of, yes, but then you like make it. So they have like eggnog flavored creamers.
Yeah, I see
And
those
like
all the
eggnog
time.
flavored like liqueurs, beverages and stuff.
There is a sort of mystery around eggnog, though. I feel like
Well, it's one of those things that people,
How
it's
is
like
eggnog made? Can we find?
You
That's
do-
what I want to know.
I-
you
Is it
prepare
yolks?
it with
I
egg
looked
whites.
that
If
up.
I'm,
I
Can we
looked
look that
I
up?
actually looked that up the
Oh,
other day.
okay. Go ahead.
'Cause
Our
I was
resident
wondering-
eggnog expert.
we have our big
it up.
coffee.
one hat.
Give it up for big coffee
you.
over
Eggnog
here.
hat on.
It was something like there was like you had to put like 5 egg yolks
Oh.
with like 4 egg whites.
This is
so
gonna
it's
ruin
more
eggnog for me.
yolky. And then it had like nutmeg, heavy cream,
Yes.
milk.
Yeah.
So-
and that was
Essentially,
pretty much it.
It's
literally
milk and eggs
egg and
with like
cinnamon.
rum and cinnamon is basically
Yeah.
what it is. Nutmeg is the big.
It sounds like it was like an accident. Like they were trying to make cupcakes or something, or
or
like
like
cookies.
custard.
Yeah, and they like forgot all the ingredients, so they like
Yeah, no,
just
that's
stopped and
probably
started
true.
drinking it.
I don't know, man. It now that I know it's made out of. I mean, listen. I knew it was made out of eggs because it's in the name.
Oh, okay.
I'm honest with you. It sounds awful now. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to drink it.
You
this
drink it
holiday
for the
season.
nutmeg is mostly that. Just
Yeah,
kind of,
I like the nutty
I mean, I don't know
afterbirth
how
taste.
real the Starbucks eggnog is.
Well, it's like probably creamer. Or
It's
something.
probably more like creamy, and then the
Liqueur.
way we make it is it comes in like a concentrate, and we do like half non-fat.
It's like vanilla or something. Like it's these things that are not real, but we're like, yeah.
So do me a favor, figure
Chocolate.
out how it's made
Vanilla's
on
not real.
Starbucks and report back.
Like
next
the
week.
actual ingredients.
Yeah.
I'll read the carton tomorrow.
No, I'm
I'm
serious.
just no. I
Breaking news. This just
Vanilla is not real.
is not real.
Fake
No, like everything at Starbucks is like put a pump of this in it. It's like sugar liquid.
Oh, I have a question for you, Cara, since we're on the Starbucks subject. What's the weirdest drink somebody's ordered for you? Like, what's
Oh,
crazy amount of pumps? Like, what is the... Oh, okay. The facial
She
expression
was
says it
so
all.
She
I hope we were online
really
because
teed that one up.
you could
I
feel
mean,
that
it's
face.
not like it wasn't like a crazy drink. It was just like your body's gonna hate you. It was just a tall coffee, just a coffee with extra cream, 12 Splenda, and a 13 equal in one tall drink.
13? That's illegal. That can be allowed.
This is America.
There was that.
Wait, that was allowed?
Wait. Back
Yeah,
up. Back
yeah.
up. A
There's no
tall,
health
a
codes
tall.
for
So
that,
that's the
right?
smallest
I feel like it would
black
curdle.
coffee
Yeah.
with a lot of cream.
And in all
12
20,
Splendas.
Oh my God.
Can that even fit in a tall cup?
25 sugars.
And
Yes.
13 equals. First of all, why anyone would put equal into their coffee,
I'll never know.
I'll never
Isn't
understand.
equal like a fake sugar?
Yeah. It's like
a
anyways?
fake sugar.
So
Yeah.
why are they putting 2 different types, right?
That's a good question.
That's so
I don't know.
unfortunate.
I thought I was going crazy. I'm
I
like,
don't
am I the only one that's saying this?
I don't know.
That is.
The
And
writing
then
is on the wall.
I saw one on TikTok. There's a girl named Anna, and she goes to Starbucks every day.
Okay.
She got one that someone requested to her, and it was like a black tea. So people try and make like Thai tea,
Yeah.
and it's just black tea, and they'll use soy milk and vanilla. But this one was
Okay.
like black tea, soy milk, pumpkin,
Ooh.
and vanilla sweet cream.
Nope.
And she said it was really good.
That-
It looked like an orange creamsicle.
She's
but-
she's wrong.
Ew, oh,
She's.
no.
Yeah,
Somebody
I
needs to
think
check
so.
on her. I'm not
She's not
convinced
well.
she's still alive.
No.
That is literally like sugar water.
Yeah.
Like it's.
Back to my hunch.
I'm just saying.
Almond is fake, or what did you say was fake?
No, vanilla.
Vanilla's
No, it's
fake.
just the flavors. Like you think you're getting all these. Like
What is vanilla-
eggnog as a concept is so much different than like what I just drank.
What vanilla hurt you, Ryan?
Yeah.
I don't
First
know.
of all, let's find out. Because
Okay.
I hate them too.
I
the
was
vanilla bean.
a vanilla killed my father when I was young.
Oh my god.
A single vanilla bean.
This is where it gets
No,
dark.
this is where my
vanilla bean.
checkered past
Just
comes
the
out
one.
on the podcast. It
Just
only
the
took
one.
3
We're
episodes.
starting to get to know you this time.
That's right.
The first episode didn't give
it
away
just
much.
it means nothing. It's a passing. It's a
right?
fleeting thought. Nothing is real.
Yeah.
This
so
is a great time to post to boost our live show.
Yes.
Where you can watch these things unedited, which is great. January 1st, spend the first night of the year with us.
Wow.
yes.
Probably at 6 p.m.
Yeah, probably.
You'll see a graphic that's more accurate.
More information is coming out, but
But-
here is the
But
accurate
loosely,
information.
probably.
Imagine spending a Friday night, the first of 2021, the year where it turns around with us. You're basically in the room with us. We are watching it live. Let's be real.
You're here in the room. You're going to hear all the things that we usually cut out of the show,
Oh.
which is nothing.
Which
we don't.
is nothing.
We don't. We
Ooh.
cut to our own demise. We don't cut anything out of the show.
I love the authenticity of it,
I don't want to give away too much, but we did book a special musical guest.
We did.
A special musical,
musical
guest.
guest.
Well, musical guests.
Well,
Yeah,
we're booking
maybe.
them.
The
Crossing our
Which
fingers.
we're actually auditioning them, so
The-
we'll see.
can I say their name? The
I don't know. The Pentatonix.
sorry.
Oh, don't say
I
it.
can't say the whole thing. I can't say the whole thing.
Could you imagine? Oh my gosh. Just like in the tiny studio. Can you go to the wide angle?
Oh,
This
yeah.
studio. This is the
It's
five
just,
of
they
them.
just walk in this door.
Wow.
All five.
Wow, they all catch COVID because we're actually
COVID positive.
we're all quarantining together
stop.
here.
No, we're not
No,
going.
no, no,
Listen, we are
psych.
not
No.
COVID positive.
No,
Okay?
no,
We
that's
are
right.
all negative in this hizzle. Anyway, it doesn't matter.
We love it. We love it.
What you know what? That's a great transition to our next bit, which is no, it's not.
Okay.
A horrible transition.
But keeping in the theme of Christmas, because
Yeah.
I was telling you our last episode, I feel like we really missed the opportunity. Like I don't know if it was us.
The decorations were like the elephant in the room. Like we wouldn't address the fact that it was Christmas time.
Exactly.
Because now you've revealed the secret. It wasn't December back then.
Yeah, it was
so-
hard to get in the mood because we were also thinking about Thanksgiving. And we're like, this feels illegal, but it's not.
It
And
was basically.
So in the same vein, like I want to know if I'm going to ask you a question, and I
Okay.
want you to really answer it honestly. Okay.
Okay, I'm ready for it.
Every year, or how many times do you think, or is it a tradition really? Do you make a gingerbread house? Is that something you do often?
I can't say that it was like a tradition growing up. Like it wasn't like, oh, and then let's all make a gingerbread house family. We did it, but it wasn't like, oh, I'm looking forward to this
Yeah.
during the year.
Okay.
We had a big event at the church last year, and that was like a fun thing where, I do that little backstory. I work at New Break Church in San Diego.
Oh, that's right. I think this is the first time they've heard this.
I'm the worship director there. So.
Wow.
Anyways,
Proud of you, man.
but I get roped into events like
Peeling
gingerbread
back
house.
The onion, that is Ryan DePoy.
The layers.
Who is
First
he?
layer is
First layer is apparently
layer
my
is
father was
context.
killed,
by.
Oh,
and then
single
you learn about where I work.
That's
So-
a good, yeah.
In the most important order. Anyways, go ahead.
Yes. Long story short, yeah, I like gingerbread houses.
Is it now? Tell me more about your experience though, because I'll be honest. I think gingerbread house making is one of the most difficult things I think I've ever done.
It's hard.
Yeah, it's not.
Nobody tells you. They undersell it.
They're like, yeah, let's build a gingerbread house. You know, they really don't talk about like the structural integrity of this gingerbread house is so reliant on your frosting, the consistency of the frosting, and your walls. Like if you got bad gingerbread, you've got no chance.
Well,
Yeah.
you know, last summer we did work a camp that was Christmas and summertime, and
That
we
we
did
did.
have a gingerbread building contest, and there were some awesome gingerbread houses.
That is
Really?
true.
It
Were
was
they
really
good?
cool. They were actually really good.
I don't think
made
I've
one.
ever seen a. Well, I had a
You know,
gingerbread.
I did. I forgot about that.
It was so
That's true.
messy.
They were good.
but some people's were like, I remember there was like a plane. Someone made like a
You know,
plane.
one was
out
mine.
of
You
it.
know,
house?
kids,
That
they'll
one was
just
mine.
No,
they don't hold back on the creativity.
You
They're
give them
like
some glue, and some glitter, and all of a sudden you got a gingerbread plane.
Venus de Milo. You know,
Yeah, I did one at a competition. We do one every year at work. We started. Well, it's not a tradition yet. We started last year. We're going to do it again this year.
it is.
You
It's
know,
a tradition.
again, I'm really dropping work again. There, I
Yeah,
hope they're not
wow.
watching. But they did pretty well too. I was running the competition. I
Sure.
willingly volunteered to run it because I was like, I will be terrible at it. Like I just something about it. Like it sounds so fun. Then you sit down and you're like, this is awful. Like my patience is tested. My will to live is tested, and I'm like, what is going on? You know. And then you wake up at the end of it all and you have like a pile of just gingerbread and nothingness.
That's I think the part that really makes it you not want to do it again next year is you make it, and that's fun. You know,
Oh,
we
yeah.
all made this nice little gingerbread house, and then you've just got this gingerbread house.
And it doesn't taste good.
Doesn't taste good.
It's like cardboardy.
You don't want to eat it. You
You
don't.
just throw it away.
So
It's just for
throw it
looks.
away. Like, what's
I
it all
think-
for?
I think too the frosting that always comes in the packages is so thin that it doesn't hold the cookies together.
And these
you
like
need a thicker
prepackaged
frosting.
gingerbread house kit.
Yeah.
I'll tell you, I made a gingerbread house from scratch once,
Wow,
Oh,
and
that's impressive. And it went
Weird
great.
flex. Whatever. Whatever. Doesn't matter. Come on.
I'm just one of those crazy guys.
And when you make it from scratch, I will say, I think is a conspiracy. This is a conspiracy.
Yep, go ahead.
Okay, go ahead and play the music.
Show the graphic. Conspiracy.
And I think department stores are making them harder so that you buy more to try more. Because I made a gingerbread house from scratch, and it was way easier. Like when I made the frosting, like I used a recipe online, of course. Whatever, man. Whatever. Mixed it. Woo, that's it. No big deal.
Just whip
And
it
I
up
was just
real
listening
quick.
to Christmas music with an apron on. I'm like, oh yeah. Anyways, I was dancing.
So you full blown
What?
made the gingerbread cookies. You
Yeah.
made the frosting.
The cutout was not easy. I had a little graphic where you cut out pieces of paper and then you cut out, you rolled it out and you cut out the pieces and then you baked it and all that stuff. So I had a lot of help for sure.
Sure, well-
like resources were, I had the world behind me if I think about it. And I made that thing and it stood tall and it was good too.
And you ate it.
It
and
was really good. What I'll tell you though about gingerbread house's stock, I think the goal is you make a gingerbread house, you put all the candy on it. This is what I do. You take it to Christmas Eve, everyone just picks the candy off and eats it. Like you walk by, you take a couple gumdrops and you eat them. It's like almost like an hors d'oeuvre thing, right? Or is that weird?
Okay,
no,
be
yeah.
honest. Do you like gumdrops?
Good question.
Yeah, who's out
Whoa.
here eating gumdrops?
Who actually likes a gumdrop?
let's be
First of
real.
all, I will say I have etten quite a few gumdrops in my day. Mainly because nobody else eats them in this house, and they're the only thing left from Halloween. And
Dots.
Dots. Are those the same thing?
Yeah. Are those
Okay.
gumdrops?
Dots. If you want to
yeah.
sponsor
Dots.
us,
I feel like dots are like
Yeah,
the
you
gumdrops
want-
that come
like a
with a
little
gingerbread
drops
house
box here.
are like the nasty, like sugar coated.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
those
think
ones
the
are gross.
conclusion we're coming to here is like shop local. Like get
Make it
your
yourself.
own.
Oh, okay.
Make your own gingerbread.
There's an
pick.
agenda.
You can pick your own candies. All right.
That's what I think would amp up your
Your
gingerbread,
gingerbread
house.
house.
Like add some
building.
like sour gummy worms.
whatever you want to put on it that you'll actually
Kit Kat
eat.
door.
And then I kind of want to do it.
We're
I
gonna
want to do
this.
that.
We're gonna do this, me and you.
We're gonna go ahead and
Right here.
Yep, right here
Right now.
here on
during the
this-
show.
During the show, we are.
We're gonna do it.
I don't know how well that's gonna go,
It's not,
and
but
It'll be
gonna
for the
do it.
live.
yeah, well, maybe live.
You're both
right?
going to be concentrating
New
so much,
Year's-
it'll be silence.
Our New Year's gingerbread house.
Well, no, that's a
It'll
good.
be on sale.
It's a great get to know you because our producers can ask us questions and we can kind of talk. I mean, it's
And we'll
we're
ignore
gonna be
them while we
focused.
make the
You know,
gingerbread
like,
house.
Hey, listen, quiet down over there. I'm just kidding. Yeah, we're gonna
Can't
make a
believe we
gingerbread
just
house.
committed to that
No,
on the show. Now
and
we have to do it.
If we don't do it, people are gonna be like, "These guys are frauds,"
Yeah,
right?
that's right. That's right.
Well, I'm
That's
glad I saw a gingerbread tree house. This is my last note, and then we can ditch gingerbread altogether. Maybe
We'll
we spend a lot
never
of
speak
time
of
on
it again.
I
until
saw a
next week.
gingerbread tree house. You build the house,
Okay.
and then they expect you to just throw it on a tree structure, like
Just a tree.
What?
it's like you build a tree, like it looks like a tree stump, you know, but it's like essentially just like four
All
walls,
still
right?
gingerbread.
Yeah, and then you make the house and you put that thing on top of it, and I
Nah.
go, this is not normal, right?
No.
that won't be sturdy.
Anyways, we'll be
no,
trying a gingerbread tree house next week.
So we're doing it. Wow. I want to make like a gingerbread condo. I think we could like
Like a full replica.
a
Two-story.
full blown apartment complex.
I grew up and I had a friend and I went to it one time. I got invited, and she knows who she is. She's a good friend of mine, and I won't release her name per.
Don't
you know.
don't do it. Don't add her.
But we would
Confidential.
go over to her uncle's house, and they would make. It was. I think I actually went twice. One year they did a whole mansion where they built like this They took all these little houses and they made like this gingerbread mansion together. It was super cool, and we all decorated sections, right? And then the next year everyone made their own gingerbread house, and her uncle had made this village that you like set your house on, and you decorated your yard, and it was like this whole neighborhood.
Whoa.
And it was such a fun time, and I thought, you know, I think back there and I think, how the heck did I build a gingerbread house that well? You know, like I just lost it.
You were just like part of the town. You were just like
And I think everyone was doing it. Maybe the pressure was just like, I got to put it together. You know, like I don't have a choice. You know,
Right.
Do
and
it.
then,
Right.
but now it's like it sounds like something you'd use as a torture tactic. They'd be like,
Oh,
"Let's
yeah.
build this gingerbread house." You're like, no, just kill me, please.
just don't say it isn't so. You know, it's fine. I'm gonna connect dots that.
Go ahead and connect dots.
But it's funny, like
Gumdrops.
joining in on a
Dots.
big tradition that like you didn't sign up for, because Cara's sister-in-law is like her parents just moved into this new neighborhood
Yeah.
up in Ramona, and they're like, you know, love the new house. It's like a spread apart. You know, it's up in Ramona,
Spacious,
so
yeah.
rolling hills and all that. But they found out that everyone in their neighborhood goes full out or get out with the Christmas lights. And they're like,
I've heard of this.
oh, okay, like they're just suddenly grafted into this. Now they have to like take out a mortgage on their house to buy
Like
enough.
literally, her grandma went to Costco and had to like buy so many
Just buy
things
out the
just
whole
to, like,
store.
match
Like
all the other
you gotta
houses.
go full
The question
out
is, like,
to join the neighborhood.
Does the peer pressure is it like on is it on them for falling into the peer pressure, or is it like is it natural to kind of be pressured into that? You
want to
know?
be in on it?
Right. It's like a community thing, you're saying. Yeah, that happens all the time. I see that all like my Jordan, she lives in a Starlight Circle down the road, and that's a
There you
big
go.
popular
Oh
one.
shoot, yeah.
And they
Yeah.
they have to decorate every year, and like they like it, they enjoy it. But I always think if I lived in this neighborhood, oh my gosh, this sounds awful. You know, like
For one, the traffic. You know.
that's the thing. Everybody in the neighborhood they have cones because they have to cone off an area. Like if you're a family that has more than
course.
2 cars or whatever, and you need to park on the street, they have to cone off the sidewalk next to their house, the curb. And that to me just it takes Christmas to a new level. Now this year it'll be different because they'll probably be doing drive-by, I imagine, or
Sure.
I hope, you know. But it's just like, does it suck the spirit out of Christmas, or does it get you energized?
I will say there's a neighborhood near where we live, Garrison Street in Point Loma, and for many years it was the same way. Like everyone had the full blown lights, like they would all go full out on the decorations. So much so they would like build these little like models and stuff that you could like walk through this whole area, and it was like somebody's yard, but it was like you're walking through this like Balboa Park looking scenery thing, and it was awesome every year. And then I don't know what happened, but like one house would not be lit one year, and then like okay, like their neighbors would get burnt out. Like they were sick of the traffic and they were sick of the everything about
to
it.
kill it.
And people would just come through and, you know, like leave their Starbucks cups everywhere and trash the neighborhood. So it was like, okay, they just stopped like putting up lights. It was just,
I don't know. I mean, I think those are really cool. And I think for anybody like who, who's a part of that and they enjoy it and they like being a part of that community, that's great. I just could not see myself being into that.
Oh yeah.
Like I think if the opportunity presented itself, like if I really found like my dream house in a dream neighborhood and it turns out they're crazy Christmas people, I'd be like, okay, fine. I guess I'll do something.
If everyone else was into it, like you said, like, yeah, sure. Like I'll play along.
Like I know a few people in that Starlight Circle and every year, like they're like, this is the worst thing ever. They're like, I can't even get to my house.
I hate Christmas.
It's like on Pepper Drive. That's another one in East County.
Oh,
yeah.
When we were little, there's like houses that have the reindeer are all connected on like 10 different roofs. And
Yeah.
my mom and dad
Wow.
would always say like, oh yeah, if you move into that house, you have to sign a contract saying that you have to do that every
I
year.
heard that rumor too. It's not real though, right?
I don't know.
Oh no, it's
You gotta have Dasher and Dancer.
You
said-
have to have Dasher has to go on your roof and then he connects to Dancer.
and you also have to
Yes.
store it in your house
So if
all
you,
year.
it's like you don't have
It's
to,
8
but
feet
if
tall.
you don't plug in your reindeer, then Dasher, Dancer, Prancer, and
ruin it.
Vixen don't get lit
It's
up either.
ruined.
So
It's ruined.
if you want to ruin that, go
You want
ahead.
that
Oh,
on
and you
your
set up your
conscience?
timer, right? It's gonna come on at 5:00 exactly.
That sounds so weird. I love it.
So I like to believe that when you move into that kind of neighborhood,
There was rumor
you
of
have
that.
to you have
gotta
to sign a contract.
Starlight Circle. I grew up with a friend who lives in Starlight Circle, and he told me that there was some sort of
Contractual obligation.
I don't think there actually is. They're not like like the homeowners association's like, listen, if you want to take this out,
yeah.
there's a couple things you
This
got
is
to know.
not gonna work.
And they pull them into the garage, and all the Christmas lights are up. They're like, listen,
Down payment on Prancer.
yeah, maybe not Prancer.
Do you realize what neighborhood you're moving into?
We take Christmas very seriously. No, I love that.
It's great.
Great.
Are there any
Great,
other
great, great.
Christmas
Yeah, let's just round this whole
off
Christmas
the
segment
cuff
out. Huh?
traditions? Maybe.
For
Maybe
me?
not totally normal Christmas traditions.
I have a question actually. This is
Yeah.
kind of pivot
Okay, pivot.
from
Hit
what you're
it.
saying, but would you rather spend the holidays, Christmas, in New York City or in Texas, in the countryside?
Whoa.
Interesting
If
question.
you had to choose. Like, or I guess a better question would be instead of the countryside, more like the mountains. Like if you're in the snowy mountains.
Like a log cabin.
Yeah, a log cabin or in the city, New York City, Christmas and New Year's.
Can I choose like what I want to do on like Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, or like December leading up to it?
You
Like,
can
can
do-
I?
You can
travel?
do whatever you want. You can go. You just have to be there the 2 weeks, Christmas week and the week before Christmas.
I'll preface it and say,
the week
John,
after.
have you ever spent any time in those places before?
No, I'm not. My family's not huge travelers, so I think a lot of my family is in San Diego, thankfully. But it always kind of was, to some degree, like an anchor to keep us here.
Sure.
Like we just always had grandparents and grandparents and grandparents, and all of them just couldn't travel. So I've never traveled outside of San Diego for Christmas, but I always thought it would be kind of fun. As far as New York or cabin, I would probably choose New York. I'm a pretty big extrovert, so I would
Sure.
enjoy, exploring New York better than exploring, like, say, the woods.
Sure.
Like some
Yeah,
people
yeah.
like to go on like a hike. I would choose exploring a new city or going on a hike. I don't know if they're even comparable, but
Oh,
Right.
yeah, sure.
It's kind of just, it's almost like your original thing. Like the countryside, you
Yeah.
know, is a little more
Slower pace.
slower paced.
Yeah.
You're out in
Which some
nature,
people prefer.
which is great. I mean, I could definitely see myself, sitting by the fire.
You
in a
like the
little-
cabin.
well, I don't know, over
You're
the
such a
city.
liar.
I could go for both, I think.
yeah.
I
Well,
think-
that's not the question.
Well,
if both was an option, both is on my list also.
I'll take both. Thank you. Yep, it's gonna be the city. I'm probably the same.
It's like
But
something
I-
about the hustle and bustle. Like
It
I feel like
sounds
it'd be
so
fun
magical.
to like
Yeah.
shop in New York City.
Yeah.
But then also like the cabin is like if your whole family's there like Christmas morning.
Like warm
That's
by the
true.
fire, like tree.
Playing games.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I will say we did spend a Christmas in New York once. I was, I think, like 10 years old, or
Yeah, you were 10. I was 8.
I was like, yep. So
So good to have a fact checker.
If you were
here.
8,
Oh.
I would be 12. So I was like 12, and we were.
Oh no!
Wow, the fact checker messed up.
And
we
We'll
spent-
go ahead and talk about that later.
Christmas.
Circle back.
We spent like Christmas to New Year's in New York.
I was 7. I'm sorry. I was 7 years old.
Whatever.
It
we
was
were there.
2007. Therefore, I was 7. Okay.
Oh, nice.
Continue.
And it's just a vibe already in New York, you know, like New York City, the people live like a different life. Like even San Diego's like a big city. It's like a different, like they don't care about like, and they're so, if you ever watch like Billy on the Street, people of New York are so like, they don't care about anything. They're just like, they won't talk to you on the street. They're like, everyone's going a different place. They're all walking around. And it's just this energy of like, oh, like I got to join in on this thing. I'm in
get a
Times Square
briefcase.
and everyone's going somewhere. Yeah, totally.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree with that. I think I've never been to New York. So maybe someday, I suppose. I haven't been a lot of places, a lot of iconic places. I haven't been to Vegas. Haven't
Really?
been.
That surprises me. I
Yeah.
don't know why, but
Well, a lot of people don't really go to
I
Vegas.
want to go to Vegas for the shows.
yeah.
Same
Cirque du
for the New
Soleil.
York, but I don't know.
Or Chris Angel.
Chris
Mind
Angel,
Freak.
Mind Freak.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a good
Magic Man.
Okay, we're gonna go ahead and write
transition
that down because we need
Yes.
to get him on the show ASAP.
Take
Rocky.
Angel, Mind
John
Freak.
to Vegas and then take Chris Angel to the podcast.
Oh man.
I love imagining any guest,
Yep.
like famous guest
Big
in this
guest.
room.
in this studio.
Where would
I have to
Fantastic.
walk through my
would
messy
they sit?
garage to get in here, and then we're just all like, "What's up?"
Yeah.
I have to sit by the crackling fire.
You can sit on the floor.
It's incredible. I love it.
Kara, you're sitting on the floor.
No,
We're not gonna make Chris Angel Mind Freak sit on the floor.
Chris
He
Angel will
floats.
just levitate.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
he'll levitate.
Float above the
Float
couch.
above
Oh, that's
all
right.
of us,
That's right.
actually.
That's right.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm a huge fan.
Wow.
Well, Christmas, the next, I told you guys, but I'll tell the audience next week, if it'll get you to come back, we're having a Christmas movie trivia.
Wow.
And as much as I'd like to be a part of it, I'm the moderator. So I'll have to moderate in that regard.
You
But-
will. You'll have to.
So if you're going to come back next week, you should really get brush up on your Christmas movies. At least watch one of every
Are you
one.
telling us or are you talking
Both.
the audience?
Audience and you guys.
Oh, good.
Everybody involved.
The audience can play
Interactive.
along with us.
Oh, no,
but-
for sure.
Yeah.
It's like Disney seen it.
Wow.
With the game.
That is
Or like
Pulled it out.
or like any other trivia show.
No.
Okay. All right.
Actually, no.
Oh wow.
All right, here we are.
We've arrived.
Okay, so I want to bring up a topic for you. I'm going to bring it up.
All right.
I'm going to throw it out there because I feel like it's time. I've been kind of, ruminating on it a little bit over our time. But let's talk about, there is a controversy in social media. And anyone who's watching this video, you're watching this on YouTube. And YouTube, as we talked about last week, social media stars have taken on a whole new life, right? And they are becoming more legit and they're legitimized in the entertainment community. And so there's this crossover that's happening now, right? There's a lot of late night hosts that are, now venturing into YouTube, posting their content from TV onto YouTube or their segments, right? And they're doing a lot of crossover between social media. Now, genuine OG social media stars have taken up a beef with these late night hosts. Not even late night. Ellen does it too, let's be honest. But Ellen has her own YouTube. It's called
Ellen Tube.
Ellen Tube.
Yep. You're right.
Typical. Go ahead and write Ellen down. We're going to need her on the show as well. But the controversy comes like, what's territory, right? Just like, these late night hosts, they have TV, they have audiences on TV. That's where they're kind of originated from, right? But now they're crossing over to YouTube and have this seamless kind of community and crowd and audience, I should say, is what the word I was looking for. They have this audience that crosses over from TV, which inherently makes them instant popular. You know?
Oh yeah.
And they have
like a built-in following already.
they have like millions of followers overnight, literally. And then their content, they're using it in two areas, or they're like making money here and then they're posting it here. But then there's also the late night hosts are picking up on social media trends and they're playing these social media trend games on their show. So the beef is like, why, like the social media stars feel like they should get more credit in the sense that like, we play these, we created these games, this community created these games, and these late night hosts are using it on TV, and they're not giving credit to like, oh, this is a game that's trending on YouTube or on TikTok or on Instagram, right? So like I guess the question is, what's okay and what's not? Like,
Right.
what's your feelings on it?
Wow, a lot of feelings. I mean, I think the biggest thing in all of this is we're realizing like TV's been around for a long time,
Yeah.
and even longer. You know, I guess film entertainment has been on for years prior to that, and YouTube. This idea of like media content on the internet is so new still. I think like just in a rough estimate, like 15 years old. Let's say.
Yeah.
We're in like the dawn of this.
You can ask. When was YouTube created?
Let's find that out.
Keep going. Sorry.
I'm going to say it was gaining most of its popularity probably 2005. Is my
Chocolate
guess.
Rain.
Yeah. It was created in 2005.
So there you go.
Whoa.
That was weird.
All right. Wow.
So
If you had to pick a month.
I'm going to say it launched in February. What's so weird is before you mouth that to me, I was going to say February.
What?
Pick a date.
February 6th,
No,
24th.
it's a love day.
Okay.
14th.
Yeah.
So on Valentine's Day
Wait,
in
how did you know that?
2005,
because I peeked.
Oh,
just looked
okay.
it up.
I thought you just like you're a YouTuber, so you're
pulled
like
it out.
you
I
have to
pulled
take
it
the
out,
history
yeah.
lesson before you can start posting. Just kidding.
The point is, in a lot of ways, when it started, it was kind of like the Wild West of entertainment, because now anyone with a camera and anyone that can hold that camera is capable of having an audience.
Yeah.
Anybody.
And I feel like we see that with every single platform. Like we've seen it with Instagram, we've seen it with TikTok. It's like there's a
Well,
period
now
of time.
we've seen it with social media at large, but at the time it was like,
There's a period of time where it's like anything goes, where it's like people are still learning how to use it.
Mm-hmm.
They're learning how to make money with it. And it's like there's a golden period. And it happened with Vine too, before Vine ended, obviously.
and the disconnect there is that TV, you know, to some extent, you need to be connected to a broadcast. You need to be connected to like a studio. You have to be famous. You know, you're developing this. You know, you're somebody like Johnny Carson who's on every night at 11, and people love Johnny Carson, watch him every night, and it was like coming onto their TV, and you just like turn it on, and there it is. Where now it's like you can seek out these personalities on YouTube, and that even took a while. It started like Cara said, like Chocolate Rain is like one off the top. Like
First videos.
these people that saw the writing on the wall and went, oh, okay, like no, that this is
Jump
a
on the
medium.
wave, yeah.
Yes, absolutely. And now I'm mixed about it, because now these TV personalities are using their like similar content maybe or similar ideas, but was there ever like, I don't know, it almost takes away from the magic of YouTube and the magic of the internet that was like, oh, anyone can post anything, you know, anyone can cook. Little Ratatouille reference.
Back to
for you.
that, you know.
Attitude the musical.
I don't know, and legitimizing it and going like, oh, call the lawyers because you stole from my YouTube video, kind of, I agree with it. Like, okay, these content creators are making something viable that has an audience, but at the same time, it's like, well, anyone could have done that. You know, why, like Jimmy Fallon's jumping on this bandwagon. Why does, you know?
Well, it gets messy when they start using the same content, where they're just reusing what has already been made, like stealing other people's ideas. Because it's like, it's one thing if you're creating your own content, your own new games, but, you know, if you're taking from people
Sure.
with less of a following, it's not as fair.
I guess my bigger gripe is that so in this year of 2020 is a lot of these late night hosts had to go home. Like they couldn't film in their studios anymore. So but they were still doing their shows mostly like YouTubers. Like they were like sitting at their computer. Like Jimmy Fallon was like sitting in his house. Now mind you,
His house is ridiculous.
it's crazy. Like
Had a
you know,
like a windy slide in it. I was like, what?
and like James
What's going
Corden and Stephen Colbert and all these people are taking their show and changing the format completely to a point where like it doesn't work because that's not what
No.
they're used to. Where these YouTube personalities, you know,
It worked for John Oliver.
John Oliver is thriving. I
Worked
will
for
say,
Conan.
but they're finding kind of this
Conan is
in between.
rebirthing out of that. He was on the downslope as before Corona.
Conan O'Brien is a genius, man. But that's
All gas,
different-
no brakes.
He really is.
Yes, no breaks. Exactly.
But it was just like so shocking. Like, oh, these people thrive on TV because they have their own format. Like, the late night monologue, the have a guest on and ask them like pointless questions, like that all worked. But like, did it actually? I don't know. Like, were these people any good? Or were they just doing what everyone else
What
does?
we're used to, what we've seen.
I think what's interesting is, again, where I see kind of where I have a problem with this theory. I don't necessarily agree with social media stars, being upset over something like this, because in my head, I'm like, the reality is, who owns the original idea?
Right.
Like,
course.
like trends happen, and you'll never know who created it.
Like you can't really patent a trend.
Right. And so like my thing is like social media, like just like I think the shows like The Tonight Show and Ellen, and before Ellen it was Oprah, right? They were always like had their like thumb on the pulse, right? And they always were doing stuff in society that they thought were, was relevant and was new, right? And they were always trying to innovate what's next and what's greatest. And now they just have they have the trend on their phone. They have it's so much easier to see it now because we're all seeing it. Think about back in the day when Oprah started. Like, there wasn't social media, there probably wasn't internet. I don't even know. But like, there wasn't a way for, if Oprah said something, there wasn't a way to be like, is she right? Or
Sure.
Like, there wasn't a way to be like, is this really happening? Like, because these shows were often kind of the pioneer of information, the information highway. And so now you have the internet, which is like its own information highway. Some would say the misinformation highway, where there's just so much you don't really know what's real. And now the talk show hosts are just they're feeling the pulse of society. And now it feels more evidence. What I think is, I think a lot of social media stars feel entitled, right? Like, they work really hard and they don't have the crews and they don't have the notoriety, which is true. And there is something really noble in that. Like, somebody who pioneers and is like the OG YouTuber, and they come in and they make it happen. I'm always impressed by them, and I still do. I still look at a YouTuber like Casey Neistat, right, versus Jimmy Fallon's YouTube channel, and I go, well, Jimmy Fallon had a whole crew of people doing this. Well, of course it's great, you know. But when Casey Neistat comes out with a video and there's like all these crazy camera angles and it syncs to the music and it's like this like truly a piece of art, I'm always going to recognize that differently than a talk show host. I think it's just different in that way.
That's it. And I think that is what's going to like rise to the top, is the quality of, because consumers aren't stupid.
Yeah.
At some point, like, we're not just gonna like love Jimmy Fallon because he's doing like these wacky things. Like people. Well, I don't know. Maybe that's my hope. Is that the audience isn't stupid. Maybe they are. Maybe they're just like, taking in whatever is on TV or whatever they see on YouTube is on the trending page or whatever. Because there's a lot of problems with YouTube too. Don't get me wrong, with the culture and everything. But the quality of, like you said, like a creator that's doing the work, putting in the time, making something that is like good, developing their audience on their own. Yeah. I think people note that, or at least, like I said, at least I hope they do.
Yeah. I think, I would be interested to see, and I'd be interested to see a social media star take the format of a talk show and do it themselves. Like I would watch a Jimmy Fallon show if it was produced in someone's like house and it had like 2 or 3 cameras and a small studio audience, but it was only streamed on YouTube. Like, that seems cool, So that's what I don't like about the attitude of a social media star. And again, it's no one in particular. There is just like, a general consensus. But I think the attitude of like, this is our stuff and you stole it is the wrong attitude to have. The attitude is like, oh, that's cool. You use the stuff that's trending in our community. Now we're going to take your format And we're going to create like an internet web show that looks like a talk show. And a lot of these social media stars still they have the same contacts as some of these big major networks. You know, they can get,
absolutely.
They could get Kim Kardashian. David Dobrik could get Kim Kardashian on if he really wanted to, you know?
Sure.
And I think I'd love to see something like that come around where a person like David, a personality like that, puts on I know he talks a lot about wanting to be a talk show host. And so like, I'd love to see him take their reins of that. I would be really sad to see him go with a network and create a show through a network on TV, because I think what would be cool is to transform the YouTube space into YouTube being the network. You know, you're creating a show kind of like what we're doing here on a very small scale, you know, like we're sitting down and we're talking, right? And, you know, so that way, you know, whatever. So I think that was really interesting. But yeah, we'll see how it goes.
It makes me think about like finding your, like, what is one's medium, because I don't know necessarily, like I said, like Jimmy Fallon or James Corden making the switch to this format that's like internet, like YouTuber, doesn't really work for me.
Yeah.
But that being said, I don't know if I would want to see PewDiePie on a late night talk show. Like,
I think also too, it was really clunky when they were doing it. It was like Zoom calls and they couldn't hear each other. You know, like the format was just terrible.
And I think you're right on.
It didn't make a good transition.
Like they're trying to reach people where they're at, and in reality, like, you know, because I don't want to box somebody in and be like, just stick to your medium.
Right.
But some people, they really work in one area of media, and some people work in different.
And then there's Conan, who can do no wrong.
And Conan, I will say, he was trying to, for a while, rip off like Let's Play videos, like where he'd have like a gamer with him, and Conan would be like, "Hey, like we're playing a video game today," and like it's kind of, I think he might still do it, where he's like the bad gamer or something.
He does,
or
like
the dad
whatever
gamer.
they're good at.
Yeah. But it is, I mean, it's reaching a different audience, I guess. You know, like reach your fans where they are, and can't knock for that.
Yeah.
I will say I love Conan O'Brien.
He can do nothing wrong.
He's pretty hilarious. He's the one that's doing it best in COVID times, I think.
Everything.
Well,
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Well, interesting stuff today.
Very interesting stuff. I'm feeling quite Christmassy and feeling
we did miss out on one thing.
What did we miss out on?
Sitting on that table right there.
Oh, you know what? We didn't
pod
do.
deck.
Quick plug for pod decks.
Hey, you know what? We're not gonna do one this time. But if you don't know about this company, it's Pod Decks, and they create interview decks, and every single card has a different question on it. If it's not even good for, if it's good for a podcast, but if you also just want to get to know your friends and family better, pick up a deck and play it at Christmas time. And
You know what, John? Let's crack one open real quick.
Should we?
Let's do a quick one.
I
Do a
wanted
little
to-
speed round.
I wanted to let you guys know too, Oprah was on air in 1986 for the first time. You guys were wondering about that for the internet.
1986.
Yeah,
I was right.
The internet didn't come around.
It was
well,
created in 1983, but it was first widely used by the public in 1991.
That's right.
Whoa,
That's
that's a fact checker.
What a fact.
Okay,
What
quick.
can I say?
I'm gonna do a speed round.
Yeah.
Okay.
Give it to me.
What's your favorite gadget?
Wow.
Quick,
My favorite,
Ryan,
okay.
quick.
My favorite gadget. Like in what way?
Just anything.
Favorite gadget.
K-cup maker.
All right.
Keurig cup.
Shoot.
Okay, my favorite gadget is probably the podcast. The podcaster, the Rode podcaster. It's a podcast mixing board. It's really
That's
cool.
good.
Nerd.
If you can, I know. If you can send a message to the entire world, what would you say in 30 seconds? Ready, set, go.
Does it have to be like serious or funny?
You're wasting your words.
So the world just heard that.
The world still hears you.
You're in a simulation.
Oh.
This is a simulation.
Boo.
I would say 30 seconds. I'd say something along the lines of, we're all human. We can do better. And love your neighbor. You know, because we're
That's
all
so
in this
much
together.
better than
Wow,
mine.
heartfelt.
Beautiful.
When I'm pressed, I can't think.
Okay, 1 second. If you could do one more, if you could undo one moment in your life, what would it be?
Gosh.
Real quick
Think
one.
really quick. 8th grade period.
Oh, yeah.
School bus,
8th grade.
Disneyland.
Uh-oh.
School bus.
Oh,
Disneyland.
no.
Not school bus, Disneyland.
Bus Disney.
I don't know what you're talking about. Apparently, Cara thinks
Stuff went down on a
something
bus. We
We talked
happened.
about it on this podcast.
No, you're talking
We
about
lost
me
Trish.
losing my
Train.
iPod.
Yeah.
The train.
Wow, the lore. We've only had 3 episodes.
Oh, my
Lord.
bad. Train, not bus.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay.
Yeah.
You have to answer.
All of 8th grade.
All of it.
The whole thing.
I would undo my decision to wear cargo shorts.
What?
Yeah.
That's good.
Or I peed my pants in 3rd grade. Probably that too. I
That's
was
pretty
between the
good.
2 and I couldn't decide. So you got both.
You can't. I don't know if you could change that one, but
Oh no.
Yeah, we'll see how that goes. I mean,
Well-
I think about it all the time. I think I could change it. Anyways, that's it. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching.
Yeah.
If you want to find us on Instagram, we are What the Podcast 2020.
Yes.
We started in 2020.
oh,
And you can watch us on YouTube. And if you're watching us on YouTube, thank you because it's a great time. And we'll see you
I'll
next
say
week.
the thing. Like, subscribe, click the bell,
Send a email to
get a
the
notification when our videos go live, and
What's our Gmail?
email us at podcastwhatthe@gmail.com.
Yeah. Sorry about that, guys. That's on me. I'll be honest. But anyways, we'll see you
Yes.
next time.
Here's the outro.
Everybody wave to the
Ba-ba-doo-doo.